What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Next Gen 720, and I'm back with a little mixed shit. I love doing these. I like actually, you know what I think? End of the day, I like interacting more with my audience live. That's just me. At the end of the day, that's something that I prefer to do. If you hear a little ruckus in the background, that's my grandson. Hey, Zaki. But that's my grandson back. Yes, if you didn't know, Next Gen is a grand. My oldest is 12 months as a child. What damn old are you, Next Gen? Hey, man. Old enough to date your grandmother. Oh, like I said, I'm a grandfather. So anyway, let me get this right here. I got it live so I can see what's going on. I got a bet with my friend. It's a little bit what's going on. I got a bet with a friend of mine. It was 2 months. We took the 3 months. Who could go the longest in 3 months? I think I'm losing, man. I'm about ready to cut this shit down. Like it's padded in, but neither here nor there. Let's get into today's video. Anyway, so look, unless you've been living under a rock, you get now it's exciting. What I mean by exciting, a lot of news. We got a lot of big AAA multiplex, especially shooters, hitting the market this holiday season. You got Titanfall 2. First of all, you got Gears of War 4, huge. You got Titanfall 2. Hearing some people mixed reviews on it. Some people love it, some people hate it. My man Rashad Jupiter from Bang Bang, he was talking about his friend took the battery out of a mech and put it into his mech. I don't think I'm going to get Titanfall. I'm sick of shooters. Out of all of these shooters, I do prefer Battlefield, especially with Call of Duty. But I just don't like all that World War I shit and old ass guns. But I was seeing, we all seen the trailer of them riding the horses and shit. So I may go back on my word and snatch that battle. But anyway, I got a lot of stuff I want to talk about today. But anyway, like I said, you got that. You got, of course, Mafia 3. I heard the game is sick. I have a buddy of mine that's pretty up within the loop, and he's been, he had his, he's seen the game behind closed doors in the game. Basically, what I'm trying to say. But there's certain parts of the town you can't go in because you're black. It's kind of racially profiled. You're being racially profiled. You're not supposed to be in that side of town in a white neighborhood. So this game takes you back to like the 60s and 70s and shit. Just think about it. That wasn't that long ago, man. America is a nation. Very young nation. Like I said, this 60, 70 black people can't even vote and all that shit. Like I said, society has come a long way. There's a lot of bullshit that goes on within our communities and stuff, but that's neither here nor there. So anyway, I'm gonna get right into today's video topic. I got 47 people in here. Let me tweet this out on Twitter. I'll get a few more people in here before we start. My favorite television behind me started fucking up. I didn't know, even though I haven't shown on it. Something, ladies and gentlemen, don't be cheap. You know what I mean? When Best Buy, whoever offers you that, that in-store coverage, get it. You know what I mean? I don't fuck if you get it for 2 years. If you only have the money for 2 years or 1 year, get that. And then when that, ends, they give you an option to go out and put more insurance on it. Like I only got a 2-year insurance on this set right here behind me, and it would just up in like the insurance, the warranty was just up in July, and they sent me an email asking me do I want to extend it for $130. I said hell yeah. I went down there, and then the TV started bugging, man. So good thing that I've done that. You know what I mean? So I'm covered. If they can't fix it, if they think it's the motherboard, not I get a brand new television. But I told you guys I was buying a new set anyway in May. I'm sorry, not May. I'm sorry, like the first week of September or so. We'll go out and buy another television. You know what I mean? You say why the first week in September? Because I got some new furniture and shit coming, and where I live at, you can't just put. I don't have a big. You sit shit out on certain days, man. Once a month we get bulk, and so I don't have where to put this shit at. So I will be getting another set, like I said, the first, second week of September. Okay, now with that being said, let me go back to the actual I got here because I want to talk about this. Albert Penello. You know who Albert Penello is? He's one of the head honchos over at Microsoft. They kind of put the gag on Albert Penello. Albert Penello used to be very, very vocal when it came to the Xbox or Microsoft, period, especially on Twitter. You know what I mean? And then, that with the launching of the Xbox One, Microsoft shot itself in both feet with the DRM, the way they explained it, and always online. Like it was just a shitstorm in the TV stuff. And Microsoft, like I said, they panicked and they threw the baby. They threw the baby out in the damn water. And it wasn't that people had a problem with the TV stuff. It's that with Microsoft, I don't know. Both Microsoft, Sony, even all these companies, I don't say they're companies, they're not ran more or less, quote unquote, by gamers. They're ran by businessmen. And sometimes they tend to lose focus with their audience and what made them great. What made the 360 so great, because Microsoft in the beginning was hungry. They wanted to, get their foot in the door. You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. The Xbox, the OG Xbox One, it got, of course, compared to the competition, was the PlayStation 2, which launched a year earlier, destroyed that in the GameCube. But Microsoft came in second with the original Xbox. And of course, Nintendo came in last with the GameCube as far as sales. I think the OG Xbox sold about 25 million, and I think the GameCube did about 22 or 23 million. You understand? It wasn't that big of a stretch with them two, but the PlayStation 2 did like over 100 million or whatever the fuck it did. You know what I mean? And one of the big issues, one of the reasons why, even or not, and it wasn't that it was the weaker console. I just want to say that. It was the weaker console. And people say, well, power doesn't always know. That wasn't the reason why Sony won. The Sony won because they had great third-party support. Those games, like as the Devil May Cry, all that shit was exclusive with PlayStation. You know what I mean? So people say, well, Sony always make the best exclusives. Not really true. I'm not saying they don't make some great games, but all those games, like I just named, the Siphon Filters, all that shit was exclusive to PlayStation. Even though if they did come on to the Xbox, it was 6 months to a year later. You know what I mean? Grand Theft Auto, prime example. Microsoft got Grand Theft Auto 3 or whatever the fuck it was, like two years later. You understand what I'm saying? Even though they got San Andreas, it was like a year or so later. So you understand what I'm saying? So that was a big thing. You know what I mean? Before why, like I said, was so successful. Microsoft had this, not this vision, with Xbox Live. And believe it or not, that was, I guess, for the install base, that was mildly successful on the original Xbox. That's what made me beyond a gun-ho Xbox. DOA was one of my DOA 3 it was. They had a few games that I liked. You could put your CD in it, rip it to the hard drive. One feature I did like about it is that you needed an actual remote to use the DVD. Kind of stupid to me. But other than that, at the end of the day, and then they capitalized that on Xbox Live with the 360. You know what I mean? And the rest is fucking history. A lot of games like a lot of games. I'm sorry, a lot of games that like Assassin's Creed, believe it or not. I think that was supposed to be an exclusive. So they had these. They didn't even have deals in place. They were just going off their name, and these companies will, put their game on their platform first. And Microsoft was basically knocking on people's doors, like, "Hey, you can use ours. We need help." And the 360 was very, very easy to develop for, and they had great, dev kits and software tools. Well, as far as Sony, they send you a motherfucking dev kit and with a bunch with binary code, a bunch of ones and zeros. Like Sony had, they hit up their ass. You know what I mean? If you needed help with a game for coding, you had to call a hotline. And here it is, you're this big fucking developer, and you got this big game, and Sony's giving you the fucking runaround. So that's one of the things that it kind of changed the tide last generation as far as Microsoft. You know what I mean? And I want to be clear, there was no real losers last generation. I don't know if Sony edged as far as the PS3 sales, outsold the 360. I know that, but I think 2 years ago, Albert Penello said that the 360 passed the PS3 again. Like, I don't know, that's not even important. But the 360 sold a lot more software than the PS3. You know what I mean? That was, just believe it or not, they don't really make much money on hardware. It's the software sale. That's their bread and fucking butter. But anyway, on to right now. So Microsoft came out E3. Trying to come on, camera. Come say hi. You can sit your ass down. Come on, come say hi. I'm about to finish my video. Say what's up.
What's up?
It's my big head ass grandson. All right, what's your name? Tell me your name.
Zaki.
All right, Zaki. All right, you done? You finished now? Bird back in the cage. You know what that bird is?
What bird?
Your chest. Go put the shirt on. So anyway, comes E3. And I said this before again, like, not to beat a dead dog with a stick or a rock, but what was told to me by a certain individual that both Microsoft and Sony had new hardware coming out, and that wasn't just slims, so again, like the same individual that told me that was the same individual who told me about DirectX 12 coming to the Xbox One. And for those of you that know me, been rocking out with my channel for a while, I started talking about the X12 on the Xbox One, I believe in November or December of 2013. They didn't announce, Microsoft didn't announce DirectX 12 until I believe it was March of 2014 at GDC. And I got a lot of backlash for that. Even with these new consoles, everybody's on board now. But when I told you guys they were coming, nobody fucking would believe me and said I was delusional. I'm making shit up. Now everybody's happy about these new fucking consoles, but that's another story in its entirety. Not saying I was given any specs, but what was told to me, again, they said when it comes as far as hardware, Microsoft won't get outgunned again. That was told to me clear as day. Not knowing more or less, not at the time, not knowing what Sony was going to do with the Neo or, the spec wise. And then I seen like those documents that just released now, or people start to see, but it was showed to me on like a Skype call. You share stuff on your screen, but of course they had the developers ID and stuff all across it. You can make that stuff public, and it went more into route and into depth about what the console can do and 36 CUs and even like I'm not a big onto the resolution 18900p on with all that shit. Either it's motherfucking 10. I mean, it's either 480, 720, 1080i, 1080p, and then you got 4K. That's it. But it had all these fucking numbers. Now, with Sony, how they're going to try to achieve? Yes, yes. All right, 1 second. Give me 1 second. If I'm sorry. How Sony's going to achieve native 4K? No, I'm sorry, not native 4K. How they're going to achieve 4K on the PS4NEO? They're going to use this checkerboard shit. So I don't like what to explain in layman's term. Something how Remedy did with Quantum Break. Even though it was outputting at 1080p, it was a bunch. I think it was 720p, like 4 720ps or whatever. The actual picture or the signal, and then output at 1080. So even though it may put out at 4K, it's not native 4K. So this generation, and if you're lying or whatever fuck, it's all been about resolution, frames per second. Like I said the other day, you guys got to watch the Multiplayer Podcast. Great show. And I said there and there, for people that are still not on board with this and that, or they're complaining, the people that was most vocal and all those digital foundry, analysis. And like I said again, I always thought that shit was crazy for console gamers to be arguing about resolution and frame per second. Like if it's that serious to you or whatever, it should be. Well, if you care that much about that, instead of the games, you should be on a fucking playing on PC. You know what I mean? So, the people, they see this stuff. They read the comments. They read the comments here on these videos. They have a special department in these companies just to see what people are talking about on YouTube and on different forums and sites. Like I tell you, YouTube is the #1 place as far as video game advertisement in movies. Like I said, it's took over fucking television. You may not see that many ads for the Xbox and PlayStation on television, but you see them all through these videos. Like I said, because the demographic that they're really trying to reach, they're on the internet. We are all plugged in all day. You know what I mean? That's how I read my news, on the internet. I don't know the last time I just bought a physical paper. I read you get everything on the goddamn internet. That's why newspaper sales are dying, because you can get the same news a lot quicker on the internet. So again, like I said, the people that were complaining and fussing about, you know, damn, I just got my PlayStation 4, I just got the Xbox One. Oh no, I'm gonna go to PC. Could knock it the fuck off. Even like I said, by Microsoft and Sony releasing new hardware every 3 to 4 years of console refresh, it's still not the same goddamn thing as PC. You know what I mean? We're still in a closed environment. Hear me out. You know what I mean? We don't have to worry about going. The prime example. Bought a few games from Steam. And they didn't boot up. They didn't boot up in my. I'm sorry, in my on my computer. Now here I spend all this money for my computer. I call, you know, I'm sorry, you had to send an email to Steam and custom, like, I don't know how to fucking get in contact. I had to send them an email and wait for them to hit me back. But I went to Google the shit, so I had to go to this one site. It was in Russia. I had to translate the shit to English, extract the file, and patch the goddamn game myself. Now, a lot of people don't want to deal with that. You know what I mean? Shit crash and blue screen to death. Not saying that console games don't launch with bugs, but when you spend $60, you're guaranteed to put that bitch in and it works. Sit down and plug and play. So that's why people choose more or less gaming on consoles, for the simplicity and for the ease. Not really because of the hardware. It's for the simplicity of ease. You know what I mean? So anyway, as I was saying, so a lot of people were complaining that, you know, that's bad for gaming and this, that, and the other. But you guys are craving and constantly talking about performance. You know what I mean? And like I said, and again, the beautiful thing of this is that you don't have to upgrade. You can keep what you got. If you want the best looking shit, you get what you pay for. Now let's bring it into present day, what this video here is about. So Albert Penello, let me bring the article up here. Albert Penello. Let me go. Shout out the Xbox, man. I don't know. I don't know if the Tick podcast or somebody gave him an interview, but I know Albert Penello's been very quiet. You know, that was the one that said that you don't think, you know, Microsoft knows how to build a console. We are the creators of DirectX. That was him with that statement there. But anyway, it says, stop, turn it down for 1 second. Microsoft's Albert Penello confirmed that the Xbox Scorpio will be powerful enough to handle 4K gaming at 60 frames per second. During an interview conducted by Core, I don't know who that is. Just call him Core. The Inner Circle podcast. Penello was asked about Microsoft's decision to get into 4K gaming, and it was a ultimate HD resolution and 60 frames a second in EP. And Penello replied, "We didn't want to take a half step. We're going to do this. We want a tech and a goal for ourselves, and we can take the same level of graphics, lighting, and more at 4K without reducing enemies on the screen, the effects, and more. Don't make the gamer smaller. Take a game at 1080p and make it 4K on this box. We know that this box is going to do this. We know that some people are confused. Not every developer is going to use this in this way." But basically what he's saying here, and what I keep hearing in the comment section on different videos and stuff is, I have a 1330p and I'm struggling to run games at 4K. And again, what you guys are not taking into consideration, when a developer makes a game, they're not making that game targeted and suited to your personal computer. Why is that on PC? Because you have 1,000 iterations. I can have a 980 Ti with, or whatever the fuck, a BI with 12 gigs of RAM. You may have the same card with 8 gigs of RAM. You may have an i5. I may have an i7. There are 1,000 different iterations. But here's whatever Microsoft's going to use. Most likely is going to be the Zen and stuff that they're using with 60. I think, and it has 60, if not 56 CUs, it has 60 CUs compared to Sony's, I think 36 CUs. You know what I mean? And like I said, their developers are able to target that said specs in that box 100% of the time. You know what I mean? They still haven't, like I said, got into what, like I said, GPU you're using, or all we know what Phil said is that they could have went the route that Sony went, was like I said, Sony, the PS4 Neo, or what we want to call PS4K. They're using Polaris, and that technology is available now, right now. Phil said out of his own mouth that they could have went the route of Sony did, and had an M-grade, but they wanted a true advance as far as technology, and and those chips and stuff that they they wanted to use for the Scorpio or whatever weren't going to be available until next year. Now, recently, AMD they showed some benchmarks for the Zen. You know what I mean? So, like I said, what I mean, and like I said, it actually surpasses Intel highest CPU. You know what I mean? As far as performance, that's catered for 4K, gaming. Now, again, what this right here is saying 4K 60, and I'm not going to say that every game will maybe be 4K 60, because, like I said, it's up to the developers, but the console can't do it. You know what I mean? But what's up, Joe?
Are you going to Super Mega Force?
Hey, man, listen. Hold on 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus Christ. Hold on. I'm going to get you right. I want you to go sit your rocket ass down, man. God damn, it's hard being a grandfather. Hold on, man. You can stop jumping in mid-flight. Hold on 1 second. Hold on. Which one's made for us? Point to it. Right here? No, this says name for us. Right? I will going to name for us. Which one what? Which one? Point to it.
This.
And I see the fuck thing. That's it, man. Here you go. There you go.
I want the one.
Man, listen. This is it. Sit down. There you go. Sit down. I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Jesus. I'm back. They got me doing granddaddy duties around here, man. Lord. I'm sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. I am back. Come camera. Okay, so anyway, as I was saying, I don't kind of lost train of thought. There, exactly. Sit down. Quiet. Watch your show. Not make so much noise. What they're saying, you know what I mean, or more or less, like I'm sorry, when people say that they have I know I said that already, but a GTX 1080 and they're struggling to do 4K, like I say, games are better optimized on consoles. Now, again, I'm not saying that every game that releases for the Scorpio would be made of 4K 60 frames per second. Now, now listen, this is not my words. Don't shoot the messenger. Albert Penello. Now, this is not the janitor at Microsoft. This is somebody who's pretty high up on the food chain. They said the Xbox Scorpio was designed to handle 4K 60 gaming, which is a true, I guess, a leap forward in far as technology when it comes to consoles. Sony, on the other hand, they're going to do a checkerboard technique, more or less, to achieve. Well, it's not going to be native 4K. It's going to be an upscale 4K. Now, whether it be do 60 or 30, I don't know. I guess it depends on how graphically demanding that game is. Now, also, but what people are losing in the translation, that game, like you had this one, what's going on right now, how 99% of the multiplats that release are running better on the PlayStation 4. It's going to be the other way around now. Now the Xbox Scorpio. Now exclusives, we can go. Who has the better exclusives? Whether you like God of War, or you like Shinobi Part 28, or whatever the fuck on the PlayStation 4. Doesn't matter. That's we can go all day about who has the better exclusive. That's just for your opinion. But I've been saying this shit forever. The meat and the bones and the potatoes are fucking multiplats. And the Project Scorpio are going to have the better version of the multiplats, period. Games will look better graphically, and they will run at a higher resolution and frame rate. That's again, that's not even up for a conversation or a topic. But I see how people try to change the narrative. Well, they're not going to do 1080p 60 is better than 4K 30. Bitch, where? Stop it. You know what I mean? I was reading, listen, somebody, because I don't be paying attention to a lot of the weird shit on Twitter, but somebody, and sometimes, I get included into a lot of tweets, and, and I read them. Like I said, I'm new. I'm not that, like I said, I'm new to Twitter. And like I said, Twitter can be kind of fun, and I don't mind indulging the back and forth pop shit about console, long as it's respectful. Like I said in the day, I can give a shit less, but I do it for shits and giggles. You know, as long as you're respectful and come with the weird shit, we can pop shit all day. I just prefer the Xbox over the PlayStation. You may prefer PlayStation over the Xbox, which is cool. That's your opinion. Or somebody might like the Wii U better than whatever. That's your fucking preference. Okay, but what's not up for debate are the multiplats. Now, here's where I want to see what's going to happen now, because Sony has been riding high on having the better versions of the multiplats. Now, Sony promised us something in 2013. They said get used to hearing 1080p, 60 frames a second. I can count maybe on 3 fingers how many games with 1080p, 60 frames a second on the PlayStation 4. You understand what I'm saying? But now with the Neo, you're guaranteed to get your 1080p 60. You got it. They gave it to you 3 years later, but you got it. Now with Microsoft, or with the Scorpio, they're saying fuck 1080p 60. Fuck the P's, is all about the K's. You know what I mean? So like one of the day, did Microsoft come out and do this interview to take some of the sting out of Sony's punch with their September 7th event that they're having to, show the PlayStation 4 Neo to the world? You know what I mean? And again, I think that was more or less brilliant of Microsoft. You still, because some people still might not be in the know. Some people might think that, it's not that big of a difference between the Neo and the Scorpio. Now, I know a lot of people were saying, but damn, Sony, they were saying, when Microsoft announced the console so soon, Sony can still go back and change some specs. It doesn't work like that. We're talking about business. The decision to choose those specs that were going into the Neo were made about 2 years ago, okay? Then you have, like I said, 2 years of R&D to make sure you get the console design, make sure the motherfucker don't overheat. A lot of work goes into that. And you can't just say, in 6 months, the goddamn console's coming out in October, we're going to change the specs. Now, there were also some rumors and reports that the developers wanted more RAM. You know what I mean? Now, I don't know if Sony's going to be able to do that in this late stage in the game. I don't know. You know what I mean? But again, now even with, like I said, I think I know the biggest Achilles heel on the Neo is they still stay with that Jaguar CPU. You know what I mean? That both the Xbox One and the PS4 have very shitty CPU, very shitty. And I think in the day, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, the CPU, the 36 CUs are important. You know what I mean? They are important, but they still have that very shitty Jaguar CPU, slightly overclocked. And the memory bandwidth is the same, 8 gigs, clock size slightly higher. Still, I think 5.5 allocated for games, and 5 allocated for games and 3 allocated for the OS. The Neo is not going to get a different dashboard. It's going to be the same thing. It's just that when you put the game in, I don't know if it's going to recognize. We're going to find this out on September 7th. I don't know if it's going to the game is going to automatically recognize that you have a Neo and put the shit in Neo mode, or if you're going to have to go to the options and put the shit in Neo mode yourself. You know what I mean? I don't know. Now, there are also some reports that are coming out from Gamescom that they showed off. What's the goddamn racing car game they got? The goddamn car game. They didn't do too well, and they canceled the studios. What the goddamn? What the hell was the name of the goddamn car game for the PlayStation 4? Not Gran Turismo, the other one that came out a few months ago. They were saying that it was running at 120 frames per second there, which you need 60 per eye. You know what I mean? They said it was running at 120 frames. I guess, you know what I mean? But I think, again, not to think I know, that, how should I say this? And again, this is me speaking as a gamer, you know what I mean? Being that Sony is not going to be able to depend so much on multiplats and having the better versions of the multiplats, I wonder if they're going to double down on the exclusives now. Drive Club. I'm sorry, but shout out to my man, D. Back. Hey D, where you at? You want to hop in with me, D? Right quick. Drive Club. That's the name. Yeah, I had a brain for it. Drive Club. You know what I mean? Like I said, like I said, maybe at this press event, you got your show. What's the problem?
What's this?
I don't know. Sit down. Okay, sit down, man. Eat something. Sit down. Give you some candy in a minute. Here. Go sit down. Woo, got it. I'm sorry. I wonder if Microsoft is going to indulge more into the specs after Sony finally announces what they have. Maybe the Neo may be slightly more powerful. Which, and again, as a gamer and as a fan, I hope so. You know what I mean? I hope so. But there were several developers that went on the record or whatever to say and claim that those were the specs that they have in their dev kits. That's it. That's, you know what I mean? Whatever. That's it. So I doubt if they can change at the last moment. I don't know. I don't think so. But you know, anything can happen. Like, you know what I mean? If that was the same thing as when it came out that the PS4 was going to be more powerful than the Xbox One, and Microsoft found out about that shit way early, and it didn't change the specs of the motherfucking Xbox One. You know what I mean? I don't. This doesn't really work like that, man. But I hope they do, though. You know what I mean? Just say if Sony did change their specs and they overclock everything or whatever the fuck. You got to realize this too, that whatever that's not the GPU or whatever the case that's in the Neo and whatever people like they're going by those specs. That's they're cooled down for. You can't put all that goddamn heat in the console. Unless that bitch gonna be about the size of a goddamn radiator. You know what I mean? It's not the same goddamn thing, but maybe they can tweak some things. They said maybe a better CPU. I don't know, but as a gamer, I hope so. But here's the thing, but whatever they decide to do, Microsoft is still a year out. So, you know what I mean? That's why, I mean, they were like, Crap did a video, said he heard from a very reliable source that the PlayStation 4 Neo may go up to, I'm sorry, not the Xbox Scorpio may be 8 teraflops. Maybe they have changed something internally with them, because I just kind of find it kind of funny that, not funny, that Albert Penello has came on the record and stated like, yeah, the console can do 4K 60. Now, he ain't saying some games, he ain't saying about graphically demanding games. He said, no, the console was built to do 4K 60. You know what I mean? So if that is the case, and the Xbox Scorpio can do 4K 60 native out of the box, bam. Does that kind of destroy the Neo? You know what I mean? Don't get me wrong, you're going to have your fans on both sides, but the whole narrative has been this generation has been about power, frames per second, and resolution. Hey, Dean, you there, Dean?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
All right, listen, my tech guy, Dean, talk to me. Did you hear? Hold on, is my background loud?
No, not really, no.
Okay, all right. So anyway, you the thing from Albert Penello, right? Albert Penello, you know who he is, right?
Yeah.
He was one of the top dogs at Microsoft. He recently did an interview. Have you read the interview?
Yeah, I listened to it and I read the interview, yeah.
All right, talk to me. What did you take from that? Talk to me.
Well, he was quite deliberate in saying that it's going to do 4K 60 frames per second. And, you know, being a longtime Microsoft supporter, these guys, they're the opposite of Sony. They don't come out and say, yes, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and don't deliver on it. You know, anytime they said that their system's going to be able to do this and that, it's been able to do it. They've never, to my knowledge, have like overpromised on a system, saying that, you know, like Sony, for instance, way back in the day, I remember, what was the name of that game? Was the game where they're in the clouds or something? What's the name of that?
I'm sorry, I just came back to the mic. Would you say it again from the beginning?
I was saying that Microsoft is not like Sony. They don't overhype. They overhype sometimes, but they don't overpromise on specs and not deliver like Sony. I forget the name of that game years ago on the PS3 where they said, "Oh, this game's gonna be 1080p, 122 frames per second."
Oh my God, you talking about? I'm gonna take you back. You know what? I'm glad that you said that. A lot of the audience and stuff, they're young, and they don't remember Sony saying back about the PlayStation 3 that it was so powerful that it can do 1080p, 120 frames a second. But there were no TVs out at the time that can handle the amount of power that was in the PlayStation 3. Now, this is Sony saying this shit back in 05, 06, you know what I mean, about the PlayStation 3, that it was powerful enough to do 1080p, 120 fucking frames a second. But even like I said, even just to fast forward until this generation, you know, when you sinners to get used to hearing 1080p 60 frames a second. You know what I mean? With that,
They haven't even been able to deliver that on the PS4.
I
Uh,
know
I don't remember any first party games being 1080p 60 frames. I know there's like a few third
the
party like
remasters. I
NBA.
think the
Yeah,
remasters.
but those don't count because those are last gen games. So of course they'll be
Yeah,
able to get those to 60 frames per second. They're
yeah,
last gen games.
but
But like I
not
was
not
saying,
any not any no not any what do you call it? No, like big games. No. Um, what I think, but even what they with the what do you call it? Call of Duty. That wasn't a lock 60.
no, it
Then
was
the one
not.
after that, it was like, you know what I mean, it was like 40 frame. But then at the one after that, they went with a dynamic resolution like Microsoft did with Gears and I'm sorry, with Call of Duty, and they was able to get the lock 60 then. But with the Neo, you know, they're be able to finally do a lock 1080p 60 frames a
Yeah,
second
yeah, they'll be able to do it with the
and
Neo.
upscale to 4K. But
Yeah,
you know,
but Microsoft doesn't do that, and I found he was very specific when he said no, it'll be able to do 4K 60 frames native, and he was saying, you know, I know a lot of people have a lot of questions. How can this be? And basically, he was saying just wait and see because we know that it's using Vega. It's going to be using the new Zen CPU,
mhm.
and we have to wait until they release what this hardware is actually capable of doing. But like I was saying, from my experience, Microsoft they don't lie on these type of things. They just don't.
Yeah, that was a bold statement being made about 4K 60. Do you think they may have changed something internally with the system, or do you think they may have changed something with the system, or that it's uh, just out of the box? Like I said, I when people talked about me and you talked about it a day and a half ago. When people come to the comment section, this period, well, how can the Scorpio do 4K or 60 when I have a non 220 whatever and is more powerful than 6T flops and I'm struggling to do, you know what I mean? But that again, that's a PC, you know, and with far as console, what they do have that they're better optimization because developers can hit the target whatever set specs that are in their console 125% of the time. As far as PC, you have 1,000 different iterations. Even though you may have a GTX 1020, games are not optimized for your GTX 1020. You may
No.
have a 1020 with 4 gigs of RAM. You may have a 1020 with 16 gigs of RAM. There are thousands. You may have an i5. You may have an i7. You know what I mean? And I'm not just saying that the Scorpio it can be more powerful than the Rig, but you know, what I mean, at the end of the day, games will look better. I mean, more, you know, what I mean, a more like a lot of the time they're able to get every bit of juice that's in that console, and the console is just dedicated to gaming. As far as your personal computer, you know, like come on, if you're watching this fucking read right now on YouTube or whatever, you hit Control O, look at your CPU usage. You understand what I'm saying? Consoles
Exactly.
don't have that. You
And
know?
also too with the locked hardware that they're going to have inside the Scorpio, the devs are going to be able to target that hardware specifically. They don't have to, you know, paint with
Yes.
a broad stroke. They know exactly what they're going to get out of it. And Phil Spencer's already said that the devs are already working on games for the Scorpio. And also too, when you have like a console, you always get more out of the console compared to the counterpart on the
PC.
PC, just
Mhm.
because it's optimized more. And the fact that they're saying that it's going to be 4K 60 frames per second, that they're confident on this, tells me that for sure that I can say for sure that the first party studios are going to get this. And the way they're going to get this is because they're going to do their games with complete DX12 this time. These games that are coming out on the Scorpio, the first party games from Microsoft, all of the games will be DX12 games. And I was just looking recently on the new Gears of War. I was looking at the PC version, and somebody went through the settings that are there. And in the settings, they already have the DX12 settings, and they have multi GPU settings, and they have async compute settings. They already have this. So if they're already doing this now, trust me, when the Scorpio comes out, all this stuff is going to be ready. And true DX12 games run about let's say right now, currently they run about roughly about 20% better than the DX11 game, and I'm pretty confident that within a closed box environment like the Xbox Scorpio, that the gains are going to be even further.
Okay. Now, for listen, for those I'm sorry, for those of the people in the audience that are not so tech savvy, explain to them what's async compute and what as far as AM, what AMD, I believe that it's kind of heavily invested in that, and what that has over as far as the video cards. So can you explain that to some people here?
Yeah. Well, asynchronous compute is basically like the task for the GPU. So some of it can be passed on to the CPU. The GPU could do the task, but instead of the GPU waiting to send out the commands or for the task, or have to stop something in order to do the task, it does it simultaneously. There's no breakup of it. It's continuous. So you get a lot more draw calls, you get a lot more efficiency, you get it a lot closer to the metal, and you're just getting a lot more out of it. So like out of the same hardware, just by using asynchronous compute, some games are seeing like a 25% increase on the same hardware just by changing the instruction set.
Damn, damn. So here's a good question. The Scorpio comes out in 2017. You think by 2017, all of the major published, major video game would all be using DX12 by then?
Definitely. This year, you got Deus Ex. Deus Ex
Yeah,
is DX12. You
yeah.
got Gears coming out. Gears is DX12. You got Forza Horizon 3 coming out. That's DX12. You got Battlefield 1 coming out. That's DX12. You have Doom that's out right now. It's not using DX12, but it is using a new asynchronous
Vulcan.
compute
Vulcan, right?
API, which is Vulkan. You have Watch Dogs 2 is using DX12. So like
Damn.
the majority of the AAA titles that are coming out this year alone in the fall are using DX12. Much less next year. Like from a developer's point of view, it makes more sense to use DX12 because you don't have to code it all these different times. You code it once, it's going to work on all the PCs, it's going to work on all the Windows tablets, it's gonna work on all the Windows laptops. It's gonna work on the Xbox One seamlessly. One code. Also, you're getting much more efficient. You're getting much more out of the hardware. It's much more efficiency, and it's easier for them to code. They don't have to do a whole bunch of stuff. They just have to put the check marks in, and that's it. It makes their job a lot easier. Microsoft has, like on the PC side, they've made it easier. Multi GPU. They put it right there in the code. The dev doesn't really have to do anything. If they want, they can add on to it so it scales better, but it's already there. So it's just easier for them to use. It produces higher yields. So why would they not use it? It's cheaper for them to make games using it.
And well, again, so that leads to what's my man name from Epic, Tim Sweeney or whatever the hell. I don't know. Does he still
Yeah,
work for Epic? While he was
I think so.
complaining, for those people, I get a lot of questions about that. But those people here in the comments section or whatever that are watching this live who don't understand what is the Windows UDP thing. Could you explain that to them?
Well, Universal Window Apps, basically, it's one app. It'll run on any Windows 10 system. So it'll work on the PC, it'll work on the Xbox One, it'll work on the Xbox One S, it'll work on a Windows Phone, it'll work on a Windows tablet,
No, not
laptop,
that.
whatever.
The for far as game, what's it? UDP? Uh,
Right.
you,
Okay,
for,
so basically, they make the game one time. They put the check marks in. So if it's for I don't know, the Nokia phone, set the game at this resolution. If it's for the Xbox One, set it at this resolution. And there's like basically check marks, so it knows what system that you have, and it'll give you the game according to your system. So it'll scale it up and down automatically. They don't have to do anything.
uh, because my man, his biggest fear that Microsoft was taking over, they will be like kingpinning the industry or whatever the fuck. Because just think about that. What one code, they can make the game one time, one code, and that bitch is scale up or scale down to suiting whatever specs that you have. Like that's like, but now I don't know what Sony's what I think was Open GPL, whatever they're using. I know the PS4 doesn't use Vulkan; it uses Open GPL or whatever the fuck they use. I know they said they didn't have any plans more or less to use Vulkan or whatever on the PlayStation 4 or I don't know about New York or whatever, but I mean here's the another thing that I hear a lot. Right now, the term and the word is HDR. Everyone's going HDR crazy. And to explain it to you in layman's terms, I just bought, the one in my living room I just bought this last year around December. That one has HDR and everything. Even my Curve got an update for HDR upstairs. But with the set right here behind me, the one that the game on, I got this here in 2014. This one doesn't do HDR, right? But I guess I buy a television every year, and I said personally, I'm not buying no more goddamn time. I'm fine with what I had. The games look great on my Sony 4K set here. And then HDR. Like if they came up with this, I was seeing it on the box, and my uncle just got the P series, and I was looking at what's it, Mad Max, on fucking 4K Blu-ray with HDR.
Oh, that looks amazing. The colors in that shit.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said again, if it wasn't that big of a deal, there's some people I see trying to downplay it and say, well, I mean, I got a 4K. No, listen, I have fucking 4K. It's like fucking the first time you seeing fucking 4K all over again. You know what I mean? It's what it goes from a million to a billion colors.
Yeah, you go from was it like 16, 17 million colors to over a billion colors. Yes.
It really pops. And talking to Tim, I believe it was Southbound. I talked to a few people that was at E3 this year, and all fanboy shit set aside, you know what I mean? And just from some other people, some other developers that I know in real life or whatever. They were saying that Gears of War 4, they had it on the Xbox One S. I'm sorry, not Gears of War 4, I'm lying. Forza Horizon 3, they had it on a 4K setup, and they had one on the Xbox One S. They said the Xbox One S was holding its own with the fucking HDR on it. Like, that's how fucking good it looks. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not listening again, I can imagine, you know what I mean, what the hell he's talking about, because looking at fucking Mad Max, and even though it was a shit movie, and fucking 4K, with the HDR, look like it's fucking blows your fucking mind. Like, this is the new craze. But you know what I mean? So, like I said, I hear a lot of people saying that like the HDR is not a big deal. Do you think Sony, well, as far as the PlayStation 4 Neo, do you think that that will support HDR as far as gaming? Do you think Sony invested into their API? Do you think they invested in that?
I don't think so, because I guess we're gonna find out in a week. But in all honesty, I don't think so. I don't think so. I really don't. I don't think they're that ahead of the curve, because this is a software implementation of it.
And Microsoft started talking about HDR about 2 years ago, year and a half ago. I didn't know what the fuck HDR was. They were saying then that they were invested in HDR. It's going to be the next big thing. And I didn't know what the fuck. I see HDR on my cell phone when take a picture, whatever the fuck. I didn't know what the fuck HDR was, and high dynamic range. I mean, what it really meant. You know what I mean? And I seen people come up the game with HDR. And like I said, my uncle, he got the P series 4K, and he has the Samsung 4K Blu-ray player, and he was playing. And he showed to me regular and without. Like I said, it's a huge deal. It's a big
it's almost like, to me, well, okay, maybe not as dramatic, but it's like almost like the shift from black and white to color, and it's definitely like when we had 480p to like 1080p. The difference is that large.
I would say this, to me, it was like going from like the first time you seen 4K, and you know what I mean, those colors, you like, oh shit. But after a while, you see it. It's not as as old shit. You know what I mean? It was like you used to seeing it. It looks good, okay. And, I mean, we've been we've been conditioning to see it. You know what I mean? Like, remember, like, from us going from the PlayStation 2 and the OG Xbox and GameCube to the 7th gen with the 360 and the PS3 and those with HD graphics and shit. We had us buying games that was corny as fuck, but they looked good to us on our television. You know what I mean? They looked good. So they was like, like, oh shit, this shit look great. Look at these graphics. HDR gave me that feeling all over again. You know what I mean? Like, oh shit, like, you know what I mean? I always say I'm a faggot that loves gadgets, and I gotta have something new. But sometimes I gotta enjoy the goddamn line. It's an obsession. Like I said, I buy a television every fucking year, and I said I wasn't buying no more TVs until 8K or something came out. I'm done. I'm good with what I got. Shit look great. picture's clear. The set behind me is fucking amazing. Again,
Right.
but you know, it doesn't do HDR, so I'm like, oh man, God, that's a big fucking deal. You know what I mean? Like I need that. Like it's huge, man. You know what I mean? So like you said, you don't think Sony has invested in that in far
No, I don't think
API?
I don't think they put into their API. And to clarify their API, it's not OpenGL.
It's not
Obviously,
Open GPL, is it?
no, they're using GMNX.
Well, who the fuck
That
is using Open GPL? Was that Nintendo? Somebody fucking uses Open GPL.
No, they're. I don't know if maybe they use it for some of their games, but their official. Here, I have it written right here. Hold on a second. Their
They have never
official.
used Open GPL.
Uh, as far as I know, their
Oh,
their
God,
their
bullshit right
API
now.
is GNMX.
Oh, when that
GM.
for the as the
G,
PlayStation 4, maybe
yeah,
like
it's
who? I mean,
GNMX. That's what it's running.
look,
Whether it's a derivative of OpenGL, I'm not 100% sure, but they're using
hold on,
GNMX.
hold on. Sony used what's it called? Open what?
It's GNMX. That's their
No,
API
what I'm
that they're
saying,
using.
Open GPL. What is it called? I'm saying it right?
OpenGL.
Open GL for their
And
game.
I read something in the comments there. Somebody was saying, "Oh, Microsoft lied about the cloud." They didn't lie about the cloud. The reason why the cloud didn't get implementation is because everyone complained about the DRM and they're
It's
always
always
online.
online, yeah.
Yeah, they didn't
Yeah.
get to implement that.
Well, yeah. To even explain that in layman's terms, whatever. Fuck. Um, and this is also to me, knowing some people within the industry. Microsoft again kind of took I guess they took the blunt of the fucking punishment from the internet consumers about Microsoft trying to implement DRM. They're trying to fuck over the consumers. And what I would say is this: that Microsoft messaging and their wording was fucked up. You know what I mean? It's like this: your wife can say, "Take out the trash, motherfucker. That shit stinks." So, man, fuck that. I ain't taking shit out, bitch. You know what I mean? It's not what you say; it's how you say it. You know what I mean? If you listen, if you go back and listen to back in 2013 in E3, it was something that the developers wanted. You know what I mean? As far as like DRMs or whatever. And if you listen to what Sony said, because like I said, so Sony like Microsoft is a more transparent company than Sony by far. Sony said is that we won't restrict, used games and this that. This is just talking about the first player games. But if you look at the bottom of I think the interview was for Eurogame or even DualShockers, Jack Tritton said we have something in place if third party wanted to implement it, they can't stop them. And then Microsoft said you couldn't trade your games in. Is that when you did go to GameStop or whoever to trade your games in, the developers got a portion of it. So guess who would have benefited from that? Us. Instead of motherfucking GameStop showing us a brand new goddamn game that was traded for 55, you know what I mean? And they give you fucking $12 for it, so it's 55. You know what I mean? GameStop was forced to fucking give the developers a portion of that money. You know what I mean? And not saying that I'm some bleeding broken heart for developers, but it costs us a lot of money to make these big AAA blockbuster games. That's why we get the same shit over and over and over again. They're kind of scared to step out of that box. You know what I mean? But just look how many developers' doors have closed this generation. Not forget last year, there's no more THQ, Midway, the motherfucker that released Murder Soul Suspect. That goddamn game came out on a Tuesday. They doors were closed by that Friday. You know what I mean? Like it's the truth. And I mean, so when you going, it's a fucked up business model. You think about it like this. Not only is Activision competing against EA, they're also competing against the motherfucker that's selling their product, which is GameStop. You understand what I'm saying? So you walk into the store, I'm like, I got $60, I'm gonna buy me a game. I'm gonna get fucking Battlefield. Fuck it, this $55 used. Fuck it, now I see $5, right? That's what average consumer. So not only is EA not getting their money, or they lost a sell to whoever, that all that shit goes directly in GameStop pocket. You know what I mean? But even like I said about the cloud, the developers would have used it, or could have, like I said, used it because they know that every goddamn console that they would have that was connected to more or less the internet. You understand what I'm saying? So again, that's really, again, sometimes I wish Microsoft just would have stuck to their guns and just say, fine, fuck it, it is what it is. and had a better, you know what I mean? Because that the console that they showed us at E3 2013, that wasn't the console that we got. You know, I like the fact that, you know, you just put your game in and download it, and bitch was only dropped this one time. You put that bitch in, it gets the key and unlock it. Never had to put the goddamn key in again. You never had to put the disc in again. And then say if you wanted to play Battlefield 25 and you was playing Killer Instinct, she stopped, paused the game, set up a match in Battlefield, send that invites to her friends, and then once her friends joined the game, she got a notification and she went from Killer Instinct to Battlefield, no lag, no load time. Like that shit was dope all through the Power of the Cloud, man. Like to me, that was some next generation shit. And I was fucking like oh shit. But you know, by then there was the media hype train, the hate train, and TV, and Microsoft fucked the gamer and this, that, and the other. Like I don't know, man. You know, like I thought that shit was dope. But oh man, well here's a good question for you. Being that this generation, we have gotten several games that require an internet connection. You know what I mean? Several games online, whether it's Watch Dogs, and you know, there's several games. Titanfall. What's a few games that came out? You know what I mean? Some parts of fucking NBA 2K, you can't go access your shit if you're not connected to the internet. Do you think that the public or the gamer will have a problem with a always online console going forward?
No, because like realistically, who the hell has an Xbox One that's not online? How are they getting their updates? So if they're getting their updates, they have to go to the PC and download their updates. They gotta have internet. So it's much ado about nothing. I think what set the people off on the DRM was this: oh, you got to check in once a day to check in your Xbox once a day online to make sure that it checks in. A lot of people were kind of turned off by that and said, oh, if you don't check in once a day, then your Xbox is not going to play the games because it has to be online. And I think in turn that turned off a lot of gamers. But the reality is, who the hell does not have internet? Like speed is a different thing, but who the hell doesn't have internet?
You know what, bro? It wasn't. Check it out. The reason why the 24-hour check-in was in play is because you could have went to GameStop, right? Traded in Destiny 5, right? Traded in Destiny 5. So what happened was when you went to GameStop, and because I was asking how the fuck was a developer friend, you know, he gave me the breakdown how it was going to work. You basically, when you went to GameStop to trade in Destiny 5, sell it, whatever the fuck you're going to do, that Microsoft had a system in place, whatever, that the GameStop employee would log into. They would take the game off of your account. Like, if the same thing if you buy a game digitally from Microsoft, you said the shit ain't working, you want your money back or whatever, fuck, you're supposed to delete that goddamn game off your thing. Don't still try to play it. That's why a lot of people got banned from Destiny. Microsoft gave out refunds, but they don't delete it. It's up to you to remove the shit. You know what I mean? So say if you traded in Destiny 0.5 and then unplugged your goddamn console from the internet, so you're still playing on fucking Destiny 5, even though you traded that shit in for 2K24. So that was what that check-in was for, you know what I mean? You know, more or less. So, you know what I mean? And like I said, you know, motherfuckers are shady. And like I said, it wasn't a big deal, like, but to me, you know what I mean?
No, it wasn't. I was so sorry to cut you off. I was so excited about the family share. I was like, yo, I can share my games with all my boys, and they can share their games with me. I was so excited for this, man.
Even one better, you were able with that right there. Say if your mother bought you NBA Live 16, and your best friend was a Live fan, and you liked, and he got 2K, you could have traded your game with him digitally. Mm-hmm. We was able to do all that. If you bought something you ain't like or whatever, we could have actually traded each other in. We could have traded that game. I mean, like I said, we lost a lot of stuff. It smells awesome, champ. We lost a lot of stuff a lot of features. I'm sorry, that we could have had with Always Online. But do you think moving forward, you know what I mean? You see Sony with PlayStation Now, Good Kai, and all the cloud and all this shit right here. And the fact that we had several games, that have released that, you know, it's going to use the cloud, that it's always online. Now, Microsoft's big first game as far as the cloud was supposed to be Crackdown. Now, this is something, like I said, this here is Microsoft's fault here. You know what I mean? Because Microsoft said that, you know, when I say the partially messaging, you know, first it was all about the cloud. The cloud made the Xbox 32 times more powerful, this, that, the other. Cool. Then you had the creators from Titanfall said, you know, they couldn't make Titanfall without Microsoft because of the cloud. We heard all that bullshit, right? Now Microsoft is saying the cloud's for anybody. Anybody can buy it. Anybody can use it. Fine. But Crackdown is their first game. You know what I mean? That's supposed to be cloud. I mean, really all out about the crowd, 100% destructible. And what I was saying, like something I've always said, and I brought it up to a certain Microsoft person to say that. And I more or less told them, you know what I mean, on Twitter behind, you just call that shit messing each other back and forth on Twitter behind the scenes. I said, if you guys are, about the cloud and this, that, and the other, you guys are going to have to be the ones to quarterback it. So if you want third party and these multiplats to use it, you guys are going to be the one to have to quarterback this thing. You know what I mean? No exclusive that y'all release going forward shouldn't have some information of the cloud. You know what I mean? Whether it puts more enemies on the screen or makes the game look better graphically, whatever the goddamn case may be, you guys got to lay the groundwork for the motherfuckers can say back for, developers are very creative and like, oh, we can do this? Like, or whatever the case, you guys have to do that. If just say you take a game like, just say Forza Horizon 3, right? Whether it's 1080p. But say, guess what? If you collect it to the internet and you're using the cloud, now the goddamn game will be in 4K. Or what resolution? The game will look better graphically or whatever the goddamn thing. If you're able to run the game on two $12,000 Titans or whatever fucking the cloud and make it look better, motherfuckers will jump on that shit like motherfucking white on rice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and people can't say that that's not possible because NVIDIA does that shit right now.
I know that. I'm just saying, you know what I mean? But if you like counts, whether you choose to account, we all want power, better looking games, yada yada yada. If you're telling me that my games will look 2 times better if I'm connected to the internet, sign me. Who the fuck's not gonna want that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I said, I got that messaging. Like, you know what I mean? It's been what? Okay, man. The messaging, like I said, has been all over the world, man. Like, like it's just been so damn timid. You know what I mean? Like one of them, I'm not gonna say no names, but one of them tweeting like, "Nigga, what's up with your videos? You gotta be the behemoth that you are." I said, "Oh, shit. Cut your shit." You know what I mean? But like I said it again, like I always said again, Microsoft, be the fucking behemoth that you are. Like they're just too fucking apologetic. Like, you know what I mean? They don't want to piss anybody off. Like, man, it was done is done, man. You know what I mean? That's one thing I miss about, people say what they want about Don Magic. I know, shout out to South. I spoke to Southbound yesterday. South hates fucking Donnie D. And Donnie D was a businessman. Donnie D brought a lot of money to Microsoft. As far as the ads that we see on Xbox Live was fucking ingenious. Those Dorito ads, all that shit bringing the cake. You know what I mean? Money, 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 money. And like I said, he made the Xbox brand very profitable. But he was a shrewd, smart businessman. Now, again, what Microsoft, they kind of lost focus. Maybe got kind of greedy. What even with the DRM and all of the bad messaging at the launch of the Xbox One, what did Microsoft in the most was this whole resolution thing. You sacrifice your specs of your console to include a peripheral. And you see what just happened to Nintendo with the Wii U, with the tablet. They sacrificed the specs of that console to include a tablet. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nintendo released a next generation console that couldn't run any next generation engines. So that shit, I don't know what the fuck Nintendo was thinking. That shit was doomed from the start. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and that's what Microsoft did as far as, with the Kinect. They get that on the GPU to keep costs down to include this goddamn peripheral that nobody wanted. Now, me, I love my Kinect. I got my goddamn connector. Shit came in the mail from Microsoft for free without me buying it. Just for, the twitching or Xbox record that, all that little shit I use it for. Now, as far as motion control gaming, I can give a fuck about that. You know what I mean? Yeah, but like I said, I think, maybe you may feel different, but I ultimately think that was what hurt Microsoft this generation.
Yeah, the Kinect. My argument for the Kinect with many people, like on the message boards and in comment section, was that they should never have invested that money in the Kinect, because the money that they invested in the Kinect, they could have invested it into better hardware. Because they spent a lot of money in research and development on that Kinect. Because,
that was a generation prior. That was a generation prior.
Yeah, let's not get it twisted. The Kinect is very, very capable. Like the infrared camera on that, how many different points of your body it picks up, the accuracy of it, how it detects your voice, and how it's connected to the cloud. It can learn certain stuff. It's all awesome, but it should have been an option. It shouldn't have been. It should have been forced in. It should have been an option where you could have got it. And you know what? To be honest with you, a lot of people still would have probably got it.
You know what? No, but here's the thing. Again, your biggest competitor is $400. Here you are at $500, and you perceive to be the weaker console, and you're charging us an extra $100 for a peripheral. That motion control game, because again, you release a console with no software to support the Kinect. Really, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you know, but like I said in the game, but just more than just uh motion. That wave has came and gone. That motion control shit. That's no more. That shit's done already. That shit went out with the fucking WAP. That's done.
But what hurt them so much is that they were perceived to be the weaker software right upon release. Like with Call of Duty, Call of Duty was like half the resolution. It was half the resolution of the PS4 version, and like gamers were like, "What the fuck? Like I'm gonna pay more for this system that's less capable than the PS4, that's cheaper," and that kind of killed them right there, man.
And you know what? Again, that is one thing what you call specs on paper, and then what you call real world performance. You look at the three on paper, the PS3 blows the doors off the fucking 360, right? But when it comes down to real world performance, you understand what I'm saying? That's it's okay. Well, the games that look the same or whatever the goddamn case may be, and a lot of the times the games look better on the 360 than the PS3 because the 360 was so easy to develop for it and get all the fucking the power out of the goddamn system. But as far as what the more or less with the Xbox One, I guess maybe it's like Microsoft said, we're going to have the cloud and this, that, and I guess maybe it was banking on the cloud. And also too, and this was told to me by a developer, that DirectX 11 was actually a hindrance to the Xbox One. You know what I mean? Because it was made for DirectX 12 and Windows 10. They said, we all heard horror stories about the eSRAM and all that shit right there. It was DirectX 11. It was horrible for for the Xbox One. But hey, Sony had this unified memory and all that shit. It was much easier. For them to obtain to the degree. Like I said, even with games like Diablo, give me another high profile game, or Grand Theft Auto, big. I didn't think Diablo was that big, but like with Grand Theft Auto, they was having problems getting that shit to 1080p on the Xbox One. Microsoft sent motherfucking developers in that motherfucking tech engineers. Get that
ninjas.
Bitch, get them, send the ninjas in that motherfucker, get that bitch to 1080p. And they did it, Then you got people arguing about you got more blades of grass, the grass is green on the players. Like that shit crazy as hell to me, man. But
I remember that thing with Digital Foundry. And it was like one area in Digital Foundry. Well, in this area, if you go into the mountains up onto the left-hand side and you go through the bushes over here, you'll notice that the density of the grass is a little bit more dense here. It's probably about a 15% increase in grass. Like, get the fuck out of here, really?
Yeah. So like I said, even with Digital Foundry, they claim to be neutral, but they're one of the sites that you talking about. Listen. Okay, sit down. I got you. Yeah, I got you. Sit down. Look, you might end up being here in a minute too. They are one of the ones that with this whole console war that kept this shit going, kept this, they do it. They do it for click. Don't get me wrong. There has always been a quote unquote a console war. Just as a human nature, people want to validate their purchase. This has been going on since the beta and VHS. Like that's something that's always going to be. Sorry, ColecoVision. It is what it is.
Samsung, iPhone.
Yeah, whatever it is, they got the same shit with televisions. Vizio fanboy, Samsung fanboy, Sony fanboy, like that shit.
Team Red, Team Green.
Yeah, it ain't gonna fucking stop. But you take sites like Digital Foundry, well, as far as the media, who are supposed to be a non-biased entity. When I noticed it was gonna be some fuckery, when IGN gave the nod of PlayStation 4 version of Call of Duty Ghosts, and the ones that came out at launch. And it was 1080. The only reason it's the same game just about, but we're going to give the edge to the PlayStation 4 version just because it's in 1080p. And both versions was fucking 720p. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember that video when you're
until the patch. So I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you got to be shitting me. Like this. But stuff like that gets swept under the rug. Like, all right, but now it's still 1080p. Like I said, if to me, I can't tell the difference. I don't know if I got glaucoma or whatever, but if it was that to me, it was that noticeable, you wouldn't have Digital Foundry with these $1,000 goddamn machines counting pixels and this, that, and the other. You better tell by the human eye. Like, that's just my opinion. No one has a 900p television. No. I've never seen one in the market. You know what I mean?
No, it'll upscale
Everything
to
is goddamn
1080p.
upscaled to 1080p or whatever the
Yeah,
goddamn case may be, man. But like I
yeah.
said, it is what it is, man. But like I said, September 7th, it's my last question before we get the hell out of here. September 7th, Sony has the event. Now, do you think they're going to also announce a Slim?
No, I think a Slim will come eventually. I don't. It's hard to say, man. I don't think so because that's too many systems for the consumer to buy at one time.
Um,
They got the they got the PSVR coming out. They got two versions of the PSVR coming out. They
two
got the
versions of PSVR?
well, they have one that comes with just with the VR and then one that comes with everything together with it, right? Like the nunchucks
Okay.
and all that shit. And then they have the PS4 NEO coming out. I just I just don't like. It's not a smart move in my opinion. I just don't think they would do it because it's just not the right timing for it. Maybe later on next year in March or something like that, it'd probably be a good time to release it and say, you know what, we're phasing out the regular PS4s and we're going to bring this model in. But at
Yeah,
this point in
that's what
time,
I was saying. Well, according with somebody, on NeoGAF, they always go dumpster diving and they're finding something, and they had two patents for two wireless chips or something. But whatever they get, what I'm saying, what kind of puts them at a disadvantage because Microsoft's introductory console does 4K and just that, and your introduction console doesn't. You know, what I mean, your two biggest competitor, the vanilla PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And here the Xbox One does some forms of 4K, and your console doesn't. But here you're coming out with the Neo, which is going to do 4K Blu-rays or whatever the fuck the case may be there. So, and if Sony was to release a PS4 Slim that does 4K, it seems kind of crazy in the same year. So maybe
yeah,
except don't be wrong, the Scorpio is going to do the same thing, if not more, the following year. You know what I mean? But it is, I guess, it is kind of confusing for the consumer. Around damn, what's 4K? Which you know what I mean? Why am I buy the Neo? I can get this one. This 4K too, right? You know what I mean? Like I think that does kind of confuse the customer. But to me, they have to do it because your biggest competitor is doing it, and that's the main selling point and feature for the Xbox One S for the 4K Blu-ray player.
yeah. And I
Well,
think the PS4 NEO, the main seller, is going to be the VR. And to be honest with you, I've been like from some of my tester friends and whatnot. I'm going to get to test it out next week. But from what I'm hearing from them is that they've actually improved the Sony VR, like the performance of it, and that it's running really well with some of these games that it's
yeah, they
probably
said they
going to be
said
a game
Drive Club.
changer.
They said Drive Club looked amazing, but I don't know if
Yeah,
Sony's gonna come out and be honest and say that the Neo is making it run that well. I mean, all I can say is this. You know what I mean? I know what was told to me, and I know what my eyes tell me. You remember what Sony showed at their VR in 2015? Look at
yeah.
those games. Those games look like PS2 and PS3 games. That's fact. Then
Well,
you
go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, but then I'm saying that when you show us they showed us the VR games again at E3, those look like PlayStation 4 games. You sort of Call of Duty version, VR part, and you sort of Star Wars. Those look like PS4 fucking games. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it
What I'm
is
gonna
what.
do when I go try it out next week, I probably shouldn't be saying this on the air, but whatever. I'm gonna do some detective work, and I'm gonna see what they're actually displaying it on. If it's an actual PS4, or if it's a Neo hidden in there, or if it's on a PC. I'm gonna check what they're running it on.
Well, I guess So we all gonna know for sure September 7th. You know what I mean? I guess a lot of Sony fans are still saying that they're gonna push the Neo back. There's gonna be 5. And listen, as a gamer, I'm gonna say this: even though I'm an Xbox dude, I hope so. You know what I mean? I hope so. You know what I mean? But this it's the same thing. If Sony can change their specs in 6 months, what do you think Microsoft can do in a
No,
year?
it's coming. I've like everything you got to take with a grain of salt, obviously. But from the
No,
people that
those leaked documents. Oh, like I said before, I don't know. Like I said, when the ones, remember, they had the ones the specs on Kotaku or whatever the fuck, and they had some papers. I said then those aren't the same ones that I've seen. The ones that came out recently with the stamp and certain those, I guess I've seen ones with the stamp. So those are the ones I've seen. You know what I mean? And a little more breaking down. Like I said, I'm not the best when it comes to 1820p and this, that, and the other. You know, but those are the ones that I saw.
Well, from what I've heard, even let's say even if they were to change the specs on it or whatever, I know for sure that the Neo is coming out in October.
I'm sorry, I said to get my mic when I was say, bro.
I know for sure that the Neo is coming out in October. So for those hoping that it's not coming out in October, unfortunately for you guys, it is coming out in October.
I mean, I hope so. I'm a gamer. I'm looking forward to it. I got rid of my PlayStation 4 I got it on trading under my consoles, but it made no sense to me to have a PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 4 Neo. It's just me here. I already have an Xbox upstairs in the room, and Maya got her own shit now. She can play Peggle, so it's just me here. The fuck, I don't need them in every room in my fucking house. And again, that's why I traded mine in because now the Neos are coming out and it wouldn't have played my existing PlayStation 4 library. I just kept what I had. But are you gonna buy the Neo also?
Yeah, I'll buy a Neo. Yeah, I'm gonna buy the Neo.
Okay,
I have a PlayStation VR pre-ordered, so for the best experience for that, you're gonna have to pretty much get a Neo anyways. And me being a graphics whore that I am and like to have the latest tech, even if I were to say I don't want to get it, I know closer when it's coming, I'm gonna go get it. So
yeah, and here's another thing too. Again, there are a couple multi-plats that are coming out this year that I want. And like I said, if those have a Neo mode, I don't know. Like I buy all my games on the Xbox One. Do I get them on the PlayStation 4 to try the Neos? Am I gonna be fucking double dipping? I just feel like I'm fucking cheating, man. Like Jesus, I just buy my exclusives on the PlayStation 4. Everything else I get on my Xbox. That's what my friends are. I don't, you know what I mean? Like nobody talks on the fucking PlayStation. Like it's a lonely station.
They don't.
But when I'm on my Xbox, would have been parties, bugging the fuck out while I'm playing. But like games like Mafia, I believe comes out in October. And according to them, anything if you want pass certification from them on their console has to support quote unquote said Neo mode or whatever. Going forward. So I might buy Battlefield, even though I hate that fucking controller. You know what I mean? But if it looks that much better, graphically. But I'm not hesitant. I'm not talking about a higher resolution. I'm talking about graphics. If they look better graphically, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? If it's just
one of these guys sent me a inbox not too long ago. There's some type of device you can get, and you can actually use your Xbox One controller.
Yeah, I know it's like $100. I wanted them shits work. I had bought one of them shits last year. The shit was kind of buggy, man. But my 360, one of the mod things you can plug it in. Yeah, that shit didn't work the best. You know what I mean? If I go get somebody $100 of my money again, fuck that.
Yeah.
I had bought one of them last year. But like I said, if the games look, because it said a higher graphic fidelity, games look better graphics on these multi-plat, not just a higher resolution. I'm talking about better, more shit going on the screen. I will get, like I said, a couple multi-plats that release this holiday season on the quote-unquote PlayStation 4 Neo. But I guess that's about it. We didn't talk about it, man. Last question, master of the day. Did Microsoft kind of let the steam out of Sony's boat here with coming out and saying that they're going to do 4K 60 native right before Sony has this event? I think they kind of did that shit on purpose. But Lord,
yeah. And they're gonna keep doing that. They're gonna keep blunting the blows, right? Because obviously the Scorpio's not coming out to next year, so people are gonna go buy the Neo. So they want as little as the smallest amount possible of the consumers to go and buy that system. So if I had to be a betting man, in October, when is their event? When is their event that they said? Was it October or November?
For Microsoft?
Yeah.
They fall. So that can be October, November.
I think sometime in the fall, we're going to actually get to learn a little bit more about the Scorpio. Mm-hmm. Obviously, probably not the complete specs at that point, but I have a feeling they're going to show us what the Scorpio is capable of by showing us something that's
they do that right there, bro. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Man.
And if it's nice and juicy, a lot of gamers are going to say, why should I spend all this money when in a year's time, I can get the monster load and my PS4 now can run these games,
Microsoft, if you're listening, I don't give a fuck if it's a tech demo, like the Samaritan demo. Blow some smoke. If y'all motherfuckers come out that motherfucker and show something running on the Scorpio early, whatever the fuck, and that shit blows the fucking doors down, Oh my God, forget about it, man.
Yeah, you know what they need to do, honestly? They like I'm not gonna like throw shade on them, but they need some fresh blood in there. They need some younger heads in there that think a little bit more progressively and that understand what the core gamer wants, like because they're more in touch with the gamer, and to have suggestions like this, you know, going forward, because a lot of the damage that was done could have been prevented with proper marketing, with proper PR department. Like their PR this generation has been dog shit, man.
Uh, you know what, bro? I said this, and again, they trust me. Like I said, this was told to me by people from the Microsoft side. I don't know. I talked to one person on the Sony, and I'm not gonna put you on blast, but fucking Yoshida blocked me for. I don't. And listen, he blocked me, and I don't even fucking. I'm like a saint on Twitter. I don't bother anybody. I don't tweet anybody any bullshit. But when they was showed the PlayStation 3, I'm sorry, PlayStation 4, at one of those events, it had a red line across the front of the console. So I just asked him, "Does that mean that the console's overheating?" Or like I said, I'm very respectful because I don't like nobody do that shit to me on Twitter. And I don't show I don't do that. You know what I mean? I barely fucking tweet develop. They tweet me something, then I respond, or they hit me, behind in my inbox. Cool. Like I said, I don't bother nobody. Not saying that people bother me, but I get 1,001 tweets a day, and I'm no fucking bother. So I imagine that's why I don't bother them. So I imagine what the fuck they get all day. So I'm ready, content in that radius. I just don't really bother anybody. You know what I mean? But anyway, again, what I was about to say about what were we just talking about, bro? I done fucking lost my train.
About him blocking you. He said he was.
Oh
blocking
yeah. I'm sorry about block. But before that though, we were saying something about marketing. I'm sorry, marketing.
Yeah, the
Like I
marketing.
said, they even with far as I'll say this, the way that Microsoft interacts with their fan base on Twitter, right? They're very tweet you back and all that stuff because they have to. They have a PR team because shit was just that bad for them around E3. So I don't have any grand delusions, and it's Phil Spencer's my boy. He sent me a message on my Xbox, or I can join in part. I don't have any grand scheme. Like when I don't hero worship. I don't idol worship. I respect everybody. I don't look at them as rock stars or movie stars. You know what I mean? That's just me. You know what I mean? Gaming is a hobby of mine, not my life. It wasn't too. I've always been this type of person. I like video games. I never gave a fuck who made the video game. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I never read the credits. Oh, that's Michael Bloom. Like crap that nobody know. I mean, I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I mean? But I see it is what it is. I'm a little bit more knowledgeable now. I just know the game. I never gave a fuck who held the microphone behind stage and the grips and shit. Like you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I'm a fan of the game. But anyway, I say this, it is like I said, you will be surprised again who watches your videos from the biggest to the smallest. Before this was told to me, before companies will hire, whether it's Microsoft, Nintendo, whoever, these research firms to do these polls and ask these questions, they didn't cut the middleman out. They don't have to do all that shit. You know what I mean? Like Michael Packer, but an analyst with the numbers, projected sales, they can go straight to the source's mouth as far as YouTube because they have their everyday, their consumers right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. What they're saying about their games, who's aggravating, who's hyping their games, this, that, you know what I mean? They get it all right there. Like I said, you'd be surprised who watches your shit. Before, I really knew who the fuck Phil Spencer was. He knew who the fuck Next Gen 720 was. I already knew who the fuck Major Nelson was. That with them ugly ass suits, and I didn't know who the fuck they were, but they knew who I was, and BGST and this, that, and the other. That shit kind of blew my mind. Like I said again, you'll be surprised who watches your videos. You know what I mean? I don't know why. At the end of the day, like I said, since me doing this, I've met a lot of people within the industry. I mean, it is what it is. Game of Form, this, that, whatever. Don't make it think. I mean, it is what it is. But I said it to say this. I've always said, that I don't know if they got too big-headed and same thing happened with Sony. You want to buy the PS3, you're going to get 2 jobs. Very cocky. I don't know what the fuck it be, but they just lose focus or contact of what got them there and take it for granted. You know what I mean? Before this generation started, everyone presumed that the winner was going to be Microsoft with the Xbox or whatever the fuck it was going to be called. That was the public consensus from everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When they came out, and what Sony did was ingenious. When they didn't even show the console. When they had their 30-minute whatever, they showed you what the game's going to look like, and they stole the show because we've been waiting 8 or 9 years to see some next generation graphics, and we saw that. And then when Microsoft had their thing, it wasn't that the people had a problem with the television, okay? Regardless of what they say, because everyone fucking does more than just fucking play games on their television. I'd have been happy for a Rise series and just extra shit. But, you know, that wasn't the issue. Is that the people that, the hardcore gamer that took off work and that to see you were just TV. So, you know what I mean? But Microsoft took it as a panic. Oh, shit. They didn't hire all these execs from CBS and all that. Fired them, and everybody lost. It wasn't that people had a problem with the television shit. It's that we tuned in to see your console and how the graphics are going to be and what the games are going to be about. I understand we got E3 coming in a month and a half now, but motherfuckers took off work and to see the games of your goddamn console. You know what I mean? And like I said, then with that, they were just a fucking domino effect. Like, you know what I mean? Had they ears to the street then, they didn't know that people wanted to see the game. Like, damn, Sony sold you to the graphics. People been talking about the graphics and shit. Sony seen shows since March. And then you come out and was it May with that bullshit there with that TV shit? Like, that shit was crazy, man. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for rocking out with my man, Dean, the tech guy, on my channel. Actually, I forgot. I'm going to put his link right here. If you guys can go subscribe to him. He's the tech guy. You want any questions about what best of HDK, 4K HDR set to buy? My man Dane, shoot him a question there. He's the man when it comes to that stuff right there. He didn't school me. I thought I was knowledgeable when it came to this shit here. You know, knowing when I used to buy my sets, I buy my sets because of the way the bezel look and how they set up and shit. That's how I've always bought my televisions. Not, you know what I mean, at the end of the day. But yeah, you make me more knowledgeable on that.
But I gotta say, man, you're well educated. I watched your video the other day. You're well educated now. I was like a pro.
Oh yeah, I'm in now. Shit, I'm there. I'm all in, bro. Bro, I'm all in. I'm knee deep in now, bro.
I want to say I was at a TV show yesterday, and I put up some of the new Samsung line, the top of the line, the KS9800. I even have like an 88-inch up on my channel. Now? Yeah, the 9800 is the top of the line Samsung, the KS.
So it's 9,000, 9,500, and a 98.
Yeah, there's a 9800. The 9800 is the full array, and they had like an 88-inch on display. So I have it up on my channel. I have a couple.
Is it in the stores now?
You could buy it in stores now. That one's expensive though, because that's their flagship, right?
Oh, hold on, man. You know, money. I was looking for Samsung between the 8000 series to the 85 to the. It's not that big of a deal. I was reading the ratings and I'm seeing the thing, like, you know, especially from the 8500 up to what 9000. It's like, it's really for the pricing that they're asking. It's not that, you know, it's not like, oh shit.
Well, a full array is supposed to give you better blacks because it has better dimming on it. But I have to say, if I'm going to be honest here, the Samsung they need to push out for just for the 9800, not the other models. The other models are fine. But for the 9800, they're going to have to push out an update for that because the dimming is not as good as it should be right now. So if I had to be honest right now, I'd be saying that the 8000 and the 9000 series below it are outperforming it currently. But they should get it up to speed with a couple firmware updates in the future.
Yeah, hit this button right here. Yeah, I'll just switch. Yeah, hit that right there. Point it in front of the television.
But as far as picture is concerned, they both have the exact same color. I could not spot a difference in color.
Yeah, so I'm just talking about, you know,
motion, and they both have the exact same brightness, right? So.
The sweat. All right. You sweating. Well, stand in front of the fan. You don't spill. You just sit on the juice or something. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I got my goddamn grandson here, man.
Yeah.
But the 9800 is out now. I thought the 9500 was the highest.
No, the 98. But there's, like I said, like color-wise, image-wise, and brightness, they all look the same. But the full array, the 98 model, you'll get better dimming, so you'll have slightly better blacks. But like I was saying, they need to push an update on it because it's not dimming as it should be right now. But it's a new TV, so sometimes, you know, they gotta get a few of the little bugs out.
I didn't know, bro. You done taught me something new, man. Like I was going, like I said, I didn't know I was gonna get the I didn't know I was between the 8500 and the Vizio, the P series. That's what I'm fucking going in and buy. Now you didn't tell me it's a motherfucking 98 now.
Yeah, there's a 9800.
I was reading the rate. They don't have it on what's that ratings, whatever the fuck that site is. They don't even have it there because, you know, they do the side by side comparison. Yeah,
they don't have it there yet.
Yeah, I'm like, God damn, I know Sony just came out with something new.
Yeah, they have. Their new TV is the ZD9. And now this TV, I have not seen this TV, and I'm dying to see this TV. But a few owners have it already on the forums, and this TV has thousands of micro LEDs. It has thousands of them, and
The new
they're
Sony?
each, yeah, the new Sony, and they're each individually controlled. So it's
Oh
gonna
shit!
give it. So it's pretty much like a
What's
an
it? What's
OLED.
it? What's it called?
It's the ZD9,
Sony
the XBR ZD9, I believe.
ZD9.
Yeah,
Um, damn, you know, man. See, look at you, man.
and
You
this
know,
this TV has 3,000 nits, so
3,000 nips.
it's hella bright.
Is it out in stores?
Yeah, it's out now. Yeah, it just came out.
Hey, bro, you gotta give me a link for that, man. Best Buy. I don't see this shit. Sony.
I don't know if it's at Best Buy yet, but it's out. Yeah, it is at Best Buy. Yeah, some of the guys ordered it from there. I think it's going to be available at Best Buy on Tuesday for delivery.
Tuesday for delivery. How much is that site? Like a 55.
That one's expensive, man. That one's expensive.
Oh, I see it right here. I see it. I got it. I got it. It's like, yeah, they only got this bitch in the 65.
Yeah,
The
that-
ZD. It's
Yeah.
$6,000.
yeah.
Yeah, you know what I said? I spent 9,000 for when I first got my fucking Sony thing, and for that shit to go down to like $4,000 at the end of the fucking year, I said never fucking again. Sony get me like that again. You know, because Sony, back, you know, when Sony first came out with the 4K, I think it was 2013, 2012, 13, 14. Them shit was expensive.
Well, I could pretty much tell you this: that TV there. Well, we're on air. I don't.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's $6,000, but
Any of those TVs that you see there on that site, you know, I can get you a Nigerian deal for sure.
on the Z.
Any of those ones, yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you, man. So much you give me one of them motherfuckers for?
I think right now it's about $700-800 cheaper than what they have it listed there at Best Buy. I think roughly they're about $1,000 cheaper. I get them for.
All right, and yeah, man. So, all right, if I want to get a 9,000 series of Samsung from you, man, what are you gonna charge me?
I'm gonna have to contact them, but a lot cheaper than what Best Buy's charging you. That's for sure.
Say no more. We gonna make that happen, then, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, man. Yeah, my boy Dean with the Nigerian hookup, man. Thank you for checking out with us. I'm about to take this channel right now, put it at the bottom of the comment section, and
yeah, check it out. I got all those videos up of the new TVs there. I just posted a KU 7500 for some of you budget. It's not really a budget, but it's not really a high end. It's kind of in the middle. It's a quantum dot display, and it looks excellent. And it does HDR10 as well. So for you people that don't have all the cash but want a good set, that's a good set. You can see what it looks like on my channel.
What set is this?
This is the KU 7500.
A KU 7500, and that's a Samsung.
Yeah, that's a Samsung. It's also a quantum dot. I'm not gonna lie to you, people out there. It's not as good as the 8000 series, but for those that are more budget orientated and they want a TV that does HDR10 and that'll give them 1,000 nits, that TV will do it.
Okay. Well, how's the 900C from that's not that good from Sony?
The 900.
better.
Yeah, you want to go to the D. Yeah, you got to go to the D.
I don't know why this shit's so fucking cheap. All right, but yeah, man. Thank you guys for swinging by, rocking out with us, man. For this quick little get together and hang out, man. And we out here, man.
Peace.